All right, what's up, folks? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. It is good to be here. Good to see everyone up in the side chat popping in, and we'll throw it over to Alan to get us started off right.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a wonderful weekend for a pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent, excellent. How you doing, man?
I am doing very, very well. It was a strong, hard week at work this week, but the weekend was welcomed with open arms. And boy, am I glad I had one coming up. According to the YouTube participants list, we've got Ashley A out there, Bama Dad, Edward Petty, Fluffy 10 millimeter Jeep guy. We got Kyle, we got Osby Osborne out there, the Tactical Fudd. Good to see everybody. We have had a couple of others join in. KY Rimfire and Hobbies, I guess, he can't stay up that late. And there's always the YouTube auditor that I would like to welcome with a hefty steaming bowl of dicks that you can eat. Thank you.
And we always appreciate that. It's not right without it. Jamie, how you doing, brother?
Better than I deserve, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate y'all letting me hang out with y'all on Sunday evenings. But yeah, man, I'm not looking forward to going to work in the morning. I'm just rapidly progressing to the point where I don't want to be doing that anymore. But anyway, I'm sure Daniel has some good topics, so we'll get on with this.
Yes. Daniel was tasked with the topics for this show. So if this show does not have any topics, you can blame Daniel.
All right. The topic of today is going to be...
We haven't even introduced everybody yet. Whoa. Geez, I know you got a laundry list, brother, but damn.
Why is AllenBePro Romeo so whiny? Okay, well, thanks for having me on, guys. And yeah, I just needed to take a time out from life and just kind of kick back and spend a little time with you folks.
Yep, good to have you, man. We'll get into some stuff, I'm sure. Hasbro, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Had a busy but fun weekend this weekend, and got to spend a little time with Interest Marksman yesterday on his show, and then Hillbilly on his. I just been having fun all weekend, and now Foreign and Domestic. Looking forward to it.
Nice, man. Yeah, I saw you on there yesterday. I forgot all about the drawing, and you get in there, and everyone's like, "You won." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "I lost."
I was telling them,
I didn't win anything. I lost.
For everybody watching, I was telling him beforehand, he won a Red Ryder BB gun, right? And I'm sitting there placing this order, and you can't imagine how much restraint I had not to send him the pink one. I should have done it, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, I just shot it regardless. Wouldn't bother me. I don't care. I'm game for a laugh.
He'd have painted it black. Don't let him kid you.
Probably, yeah.
It wouldn't have been pink. A laugh. Be honest. You would have taken it to bed with you.
Curled up tight.
Hey, you know what? It never hurts to have another one sitting by the bedside. So, it's all good.
Uh-oh.
All right, good to have you, man. I'm glad you're having such a good weekend so far.
Yeah, good to be with you guys.
And then we got Pat in the bunker. What's going on, man?
Oh man, it has been a up and down week. Up and down. If you've heard the old saying, peaks and valleys, there was no middle ground this week. It was either highs or it was at the bottom. So, kind of like the last 2 days. So, but today was a peak though, because I got me, my brother, my cousin, friend, and my mom and dad actually showed up at the range today. And we had a range day this afternoon. And man, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So after a couple of not so nice days with shitty, I'll put it that way, got the top Sunday off with a range day. And now I'm here with you fine gentlemen. So things are looking up for hopefully the beginning of the week now. So thanks for having me on, brother. I appreciate it. What have you been up to?
Awesome, man. So what did you shoot when you were out at the range? What were you shooting?
I was shooting my Ruger 9, my Smith 9, my Smith AR-15, shooting my little Henry 22, and actually I just dropped a video on all that here just a little bit ago. So I actually got to do some filming today too. It got up 60 degrees out this way, so I couldn't pass it up. So it was time to do some filming and have fun with friends and family. So, but yeah, other than that, that's about all I was shooting today. I didn't drag too much out today, but got a lot of training in too, as well. So shot for a good solid 4 hours.
Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, you guys all suck with your 60-degree weather. Be nice to get some of that sometime.
Well, yeah, this is the first time it's been that way up this way for a little bit. Anyway, I'll put it that way. So
yeah, today we finally hit 40 degrees, but that's probably not gonna last long.
We
probably
got
not
up,
where you're at.
we got up to 55 today here in the northwest section of Georgia, but that comes with rain this time of year. So y'all heard that saying that it'll have to warm up to rain. That's what they're talking about down here. The clouds come in, the warmer air comes in, we get rain for a couple of days, then the rain leaves, and then it's back to 25 degrees at night or lower.
I tell you, from where Scotsman is at and where I'm at, heck, I had a high of 52 degrees today, Scotsman.
Yeah, you suck, man.
And I'm just a little bit below you. You get that nice lake effect.
Oh yeah, it was in the 20s all week long, and then finally yesterday got up to today got up to 40. But yeah, it's been a pretty cold week.
Oh, and by the way, before we get moved on to something else, I did take your advice, Scotsman, from last Sunday. And the next morning I woke up and I was not congested and I had no hack, cough, or sneeze, but then I had a hangover. Not bad. Not bad. Nothing that a couple ibuprofen didn't take care of pretty quick in the morning. But
See, but you felt better, right?
Oh, so I nuked it. I nuked it. There was no doubt about it.
I'm telling you, man, it's an ancient cure.
Well, I was about willing to do anything to get rid of that. I'd had it over a week, so I was like, well, this can't make it any worse. So down the hatch it went.
There you go, man. I'm glad it worked for you.
Me too. Me too.
Tried and true, man. Tried and true. Works every time.
Hey, Scotsman, we just had the BB gun instigator join us.
I see that. He's out there and trying to get you to say what his score is when we all know that one shot was out. It wasn't in. It was out.
Oh, no, not that instigator. Nibs over Walnut and Steel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nibs, yep.
Far out. Yeah, I'm wanting to get in some of these challenges. You guys making it look fun.
Yeah, the challenges are good, man. If you can get out and do them, they're a lot of fun to do. I gotta come up with one for Christmas. We'll get something put together here. I got an idea. For those of you that know me well, you'll probably know where I'm gonna go with it. But yeah, I got an idea. So Daniel, what's your first topic? Since you're making all the topics, apparently.
Okay. Who is a big salad guy that orders and eats a $75 burger but doesn't get a salad?
We got to talk about him. See if he shows up.
Well, yeah, maybe anybody that's got his phone number can start text bombing him and ask him why he didn't get a salad. So let's see. Is anybody in the side chat can guess who that person is?
A $75 burger.
Where you get
what kind
one
of
of
burger
those?
could that possibly be?
Let me clarify. It was two burger meals. But still, $75 for this person is up there.
Yeah,
Boom, 2 Live Moo.
Joe Biden.
So anybody that has old Rob's phone number, start text bombing him and ask him why. Maybe we can get him out of there and give him some hassle.
Well, hopefully the
What
kidnapper
was it,
returned
like
them.
an anniversary or something? Did the man have to shell out some bucks, or
I have no idea. I just heard through the grapevine that he spent $75 on 2 hamburgers or cheeseburgers and didn't get a salad.
No, there was nothing saying it was any kind of special thing. He just went out and spent money, and that's not Rob. So I'm not quite sure what happened to him.
I think
Pretty
he
sure
got
he was
hacked.
kidnapped. I'm pretty sure he was kidnapped.
And he's like the guy that never wants to spend. He's a cheapskate.
That's my point.
Yeah, somebody must have hacked his account, and they're all just balling all over his account now.
Okay.
There you go. Nice. Kyle's got there. She needs 38 snubby. Nice, man.
Okay, the second topic is why Jamie won't give me a 586.
That could be a whole show in itself.
Give you?
Sell me, give me, whatever. Leave it laying around so I can get my grubby hands on it.
If you're giving away, Jamie, I want a 629.
That's on my. I got that's on my list. I need a 29 of some form or fashion, as we discussed last night.
Every man needs a 29.
What? See, this is how bad it is. I mean, I shot Jamie's 586 once and it's like fell in love with that gun, and I've been looking for one forever. I turned around and spent money on a Colt Python. I know that's not a Smith & Wesson, but I'm being bequeathed a Model 14 masterpiece from my godfather. So maybe I'll just be a little bit less picking on Jamie now.
Probably not.
You're gonna love that, man. That is a Scotsman and I were talking about that the other night, man. I think if that's got that heavy barrel, and I'm pretty sure it does, yeah, you're gonna have fun with that.
I just don't know if I could ever have the heart to shoot it because it is so pristine.
Well, you got to shoot it, man.
That's what it was built for.
Yeah.
I've said it many times to people. You know, I'm a collector, but at the same time, I white glove nothing, shoot everything. You got to shoot it, man. They were
Well, I'll
built to be
shoot it, but
shot.
I'm not going to put it in a holster. That's for sure. I'm not
Oh
going to get
no,
that
no,
holster
no,
wear on
no,
it.
no. You don't need any holster wear, man. But definitely get up and shoot it. You know, work up a nice.
I don't own one, but a guy I work with has a 586. If I remember right, it's 7 shots. Does that sound right?
That's be a plus.
Yeah. It's just it was amazing. Easy to shoot. Just beautiful.
And accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when I say easy, it's easy to hit accurately. You're exactly right.
I took mine down. Scotsman was with us. We went down and met up with Georgia Boy 44, and he shot 2 cylinders out of that thing. And he's like, get it away from me now and don't let me touch it again. He said, I just shot the red out of that target. He literally did. With 12 shots, there was no red left on the target right there in the center. I'm like,
I have no doubt that he did that because I shot 6 shots out of it and pretty much made one ragged hole.
And I shot Scotsman's 29 just about that good last time we got together.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't come across too many Smith & Wessons that I haven't been able to shoot very well at all. Usually I can shoot them pretty good.
I hate to say it. I almost need to go into a 12-step program, but I told Jamie last night I had sold my 629 8 3/8 inch barrel many years ago, and I just hate that. But I feel like I should be in. Okay, my name is Hasbro, and I'm a 629 seller. You know, it's like, you idiot. But I had taken that thing, got it brand new, and I went out and I shot 100 rounds in a row. And I couldn't pick up a pen to write for 2 weeks because it had the oak grips and all this. It just beat the fire out of me because these were not reloads. And so it's like, I wasn't reloading then. I got to go buy that gun again.
I want to answer Ozzy's question on if I've worn that holster yet. Ozzy, yes, I have worn that holster. I wore that sucker 3 days in a row, all day long. And that holster is comfortable as, I mean, I haven't put on a holster that was that comfortable. And he sent me a holster there. It's like leather and Asian python snake skin is in it. And that is like, oh, for the PO1, and that thing is just classy. So, Ozzy, do you just do that farting around, or you like do that as a side business, doing holsters? Yes or no?
For fun.
What, Scotsman?
He just does it. He just does it on the side for fun.
Just for fun?
Yeah. Eventually, I think he wants to maybe get into it once he retires, but he just does it on the side.
Well, when he does, I recommend him.
Oh yeah, he's an awesome holster maker, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he would have no problem selling those things at gun shows or even on here.
Now, Hasbro, what in the world made you sell the 29? I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Well, I'm a young idiot right out of college, and I'd spent a lot of money, and I decided, okay, I'm going to start building my own custom flintlock rifles. And so I sold that because the components, the wood, the barrel, everything was so expensive. I used that money to buy the parts to build my first full-length flintlock rifle. I still have that gun, so I still have the rifle, but I'd almost rather have the 629.
But you ain't got a 29.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I don't think I could ever get rid of one of my 29s, man.
At the time, it seemed okay because, like I told you, I wasn't reloading, and it was cool, but it was more of an entertainment thing to take people who hadn't been shooting. It's like, oh, here, try this, you know. But I don't know. The rifle worked out good. I finished that rifle on a Friday night, and I took it to a Michigan State muzzleloading contest on the next morning, and won second place. So that worked out okay. But
Nice.
I don't have the 629.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever sell one, man. I got a few of them, and I've had people ask me in the past, like, "Well, you got more than one, so why wouldn't you?" And it's like, it doesn't work like that. The whole point of collecting is to keep collecting. Keep filling them up.
Yep.
Nibs is saying he's got a 4-inch. Yep, I got a 4-inch as well. It's my carry gun during the winter. Wear that in the shoulder rig.
Walnut still says I have at least a couple dozen Smith & Wesson revolvers. I'm like, dang, man.
I'm not quite.
Is
up that
anybody
high
surprised? Is anybody surprised by that? The man's a museum.
Yeah, I'm not quite that high yet. I only have a few. See, I got 3 29s, 28, 27, 60. Let's see. I'm missing some. Yeah, I'm missing some. I can't think off the top of my head. And I got 2 more 27s coming this year, hopefully.
I think I only have 2. Hoping to add another one. That's a pretty cool revolver, Walnut Steel, 1917. That's a 45 ACP. Is that right?
I believe so.
I know, Hasbro. Yep.
Yeah, those 29 is pretty hard to beat. I wish I had.
Yeah, they just couldn't. Colt couldn't produce enough 1911s during World War One, so they. Yeah. So.
Yeah, see, everyone always rants about Colt and this, that, the other, man. I've never saw the same kind of quality as I see in the Smiths. The blue in is totally different. And, you know, Colts are nice. Don't get me wrong, they're nice. But Smith & Wesson, they knew what the heck they were doing with blue in back in the day.
Yep, I'll second that motion.
Oh, he's got a bunch of J-frames.
Yeah. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems weird to me that the Colt, the cylinder rotates in one direction and the rifling in the barrel rotates the opposite direction. And I know that probably doesn't matter at all, but it seems like to me that's just ripping the gun apart. And I know it's not really, but it's just that's just how the brain works.
You need that, Jamie, so you can curve the bullet.
Okay. That's how you
It's
shoot
English. You
around
put
cars,
English
right?
on it.
Yeah. That way you can be in those old cowboy movies and go, pow, actually throw your bullets, right?
Throw it around the rock and get him in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, their process is a little bit different with Colts, especially, and their grips too. I mean, their grips are completely different as well. You know, there's something about the old Smith grips, the way they're designed, the checkering, all of it, man. It just screams sexy, man. Just screams sexy.
It just fills your hand up. And walnut and steel, that may not be accurate, man. My mind just may be completely fouled up.
Amy, I would have taken that where it was because you just taught walnut and steel something. That's a statement right there.
Maybe I just dreamed it. Somebody will be Googling it in a minute and telling me what kind of an idiot I am. So.
Scotsman, who's your fact checking?
Oh, I mean that'd be Allen. You know, I don't do that around here.
See, that my boss does that. We can be sitting around talking about whatever, and you'll say something, and he'll look it up. He'll Google it right there with his phone. And I'm like, really, dude? You know, the first dozen times you did that, you know, it was kind of cute, but yeah, it's getting kind of tired at this point.
Oh, when you said your boss, I thought you was talking about your wife for a second. She was fact checking you.
No, she don't do that. She just tells me, Google is your friend, dummy. I'm like, yeah, because after all, if it's on the internet, it's got to be true, right?
Well, my wife did that to me a few years ago, and I actually was wrong, but I was not giving up. So I went and got a newspaper article and photoshopped it and printed it out and go, look here. She didn't buy it.
Now that's some dedication to the lie right there. Daniel, what's our next topic?
Oh man, you are going to pick on me all night.
I'm not picking on you. Alan picked on you.
Well, you just hit me up again. Let's see. Okay, we're talking about some Colts. We're talking about Smith and Wessons.
Rugers. Vanessa Kitty got it. She says the older wood grips from Rugers always had the wrong feel in her hand.
I can't say that I've ever really fired an older Ruger. About the oldest one I've got is a Pete 95 DC.
Well, we're not talking about those kind of guns.
Right, I know. I've not, you know, I don't think I've even fired a.
Okay, this is the second topic of tonight. Who else in here besides Bama Dad and myself have done this? You know, when the wife gets on you about your snoring and then you tell her she snored and she denied it and then you recorded her on the phone and played it back to her. Who else has done that?
I was afraid to do that. I like eating, and my couch don't sleep as well as Bama Dad's, obviously.
I did that once with my ex-wife.
That's your ex, right, brother?
Hence the ex.
And just once.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Scotsman, which way did you say that the Smiths rotate? You said Smiths rotate counterclockwise or clockwise?
I didn't. Jamie was talking about that with the Colts.
Daniel was talking about it. What the?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, so
No,
which
Jamie
way
did.
did the Smiths rotate? Huh?
Jamie was talking about Colts rotating different.
Well, yeah, but which is which? Oh. Well, I mean,
Well, let me go look.
don't need to look.
Okay.
Don't need to look. Good gosh. If you just don't have a 279 sitting around and possibly an anaconda, then you'd
The
know
Colts
that
rotate
the
counterclockwise. I
Colts.
know the Smith and Wesson's
No,
counterclockwise. Smith and Wesson goes counterclockwise.
yeah, you'd be backwards.
So Colts go clockwise.
Colts go clockwise and Smith goes counterclockwise.
Yeah, my Colts downstairs in the safe. The Smithy here was on top of the gun cabinet. Damn, that's got a hair trigger.
That makes 7 pistols within my reach.
MCK is not pushing the belt either. He knows.
Yeah. See, that aggravates me, Mock. She always beats me to bed. And when I get there and she's already out and she's catty corner and I have to wake her up just to be able to get into bed, that's treading on thin ice.
Oh, yours too, huh?
Whoa,
Aw.
William, nah.
Man, we might have to get rid of you, man. What's that all about?
I'm saying boot.
Ooh.
Let's all
Man,
vote.
I don't know, man.
All in favor of the Iggy Award, say aye.
That wrench you got there ain't gonna last too long.
The next thing he's going to tell you that he's a Glock fan too.
Oh,
Probably.
that would be the nail in the coffin right there for him.
Oh yeah. Okay, here's your next topic there, Alan. Because this just came up between my wife and I tonight. How many deer heads is too many deer heads on the wall?
6. No,
Well,
I think
that's-
6 is enough. I think 7's too many. Go ahead, Alan. Wrong.
I would say that that's about right on the money, but it depends upon the size of the wall.
Well, they can be spread
Because if you're
around the
talking
house.
like a 10-foot wall, then these things are fighting each other even in death. But if you got like a 30-foot long wall, then they're pretty spaced out.
Yeah. Well, they can be spread out all through the house. Like I make her put her smaller
Oh,
bucks
you
in
mean
the
how
kitchen.
many deer heads can you have in one house?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's, I mean, depends upon the
Depends
size of
on-
the deer then.
Depends on square footage of the house.
If you get enough of them, just build an extension.
Well, you know what? When worst comes to worst, I'll just have to have myself a cabin built.
I think it's important that the antlers are not touching each another.
Well, I knew a guy that had he shot a buck where they was locked. He shot there was a pair of bucks and they were locked in a fight and one of them was dead. And he had them like a half mount on each one, had them mounted where they were locked and fighting.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, I knew the guy that was doing the mounting. when I lived down in Maryland. This guy is taxidermist down there. That guy was an artist. He did it. He did it in competitions. He had a few of the mounts that he was doing some mounts for those National Turkey Federation or whatever. And he had two of them there that he was charging $10,000 each for turkeys.
Man,
I learned very quickly with my
Yikes.
wife. My wife's Irish, right? So anybody has an Irish wife can relate to this. When we get married, I'm out living in California at the time, and I had my first deer and a bear head, a black bear head, mounted above my bed. That got changed very quickly. It was not going to reside in the bedroom.
Give her her own bedroom then.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah, no.
it appears Romeo has a Smith up on his avatar right now. Maybe not. Can't tell.
Yeah, everybody was talking about the 629. So there's the satin black 629 Hunter. Very nice, very nice.
Oh, extremely.
Gucci 29.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously from the Performance Center. Look at that barrel work.
Yeah, yep, it's definitely a performance center. And it's a performer, I'll tell you that much.
So as I was flipping through YouTube looking for the pop-out chat for this, I saw Hootie Who did a video about the effects of a 44 Magnum on deer. I hadn't watched it yet, but that'll be interesting.
Yeah, 44 Magnum for deer up here. That's a 50 yards and less gun. You got to keep her under 50 yards with them.
So going after deer with 350 Legend, what's your borderline? This is almost too far range.
100 yards. They say it works out to 150, but I wouldn't push it past 100 if I. All right, when I carry my 350 Legend, I'm in a particular stand where the farthest shot I've got is 75 yards. So I know I'm good there. There's Chris from the 740. What's up, my brother? But
You load your Legend, right, Damien?
I'm
You load
about
for it?
Yeah, and the reason is I think I missed a good 8-pointer this year because of Winchester Super X, which has always been my favorite brand of hunting ammunition to buy off the shelf. And it works great in 270, but it cost me a deer this year with 350 Legend. It was so weak that I had to check my bore to make sure that it was not a squib.
Wow. That'll freak you out.
It didn't cycle the gun, and the deer just stood there like I never even shot. And my hunting partner, who was about 200, 220 yards away, thought that the shot came from a couple of properties over. You know, he thought it was from like a half a mile away, and it was 200 yards away. And when we got down and we were walking, there was a gallon jug of empty gallon jug that antifreeze came in that we found, and I walked off about 125 yards and put one right dead center of it. freehand. So scope was on. The next round worked, but that particular one didn't. So when when your ammo of choice is costing you dear, I've got some federal 160 grain. What do they call those? Anyway, they're assault.
Something shock, right?
Uh,
Power shock or something.
no, fusion, federal fusion bullets. They're just the bullets, 160 grain, and I'm gonna load some of those up. I've already got a load worked up for that. So between
Now,
now
are you shooting a bolt? You shooting a
No.
bolt gun, Jamie, or a gas gun?
AR,
Okay.
and it's accurate as all get out, man. But you know, you gotta have powder in the can there for it to go. You know,
It helps.
hey, boom, what's going on? I have loaded some cast bullets, and the two bullets that I want to use, you have to seat them so deep to get them to chamber that they won't function in the rifle. It won't feed them. So I'm going with these Federal Fusion bullets. So I can seat them out longer, get a little bit more charge in there. That's very close to what mine was, Ozzy. I think instead of the Deer Season XP, it's the Super X. Look, I'll find it. Hold on a minute. I'll find the box.
Well, while he's finding that box, Daniel, what's the next topic?
Oh, when you go shooting competitions, when you shoot a classifier, are you the kind of person that throws a classifier or just says they throw a classifier because they can't handle the pressure? Or do you go to the classifier and do your best that you can out of personal pride? I hear crickets. Is this thing on? Hello? Is this
Well,
thing
I
on?
I can tell you what I do at a classifier ain't none of your business, buddy. Oh wait, I've never shot at a classifier. I got nothing to say on this subject.
I have no opinion.
Oh, you never shot? Okay.
Yes, I
That's
have
my
yet to
favorite
shoot a
joke.
competition. I really have. Now, friendly competition just at the family range or whatever. That's kind of one thing, but not an actual like scored competition, official anything. No, I've never done that. We've played horse before quite a bit.
Yeah, we played that. Okay, well, those
I
folks
believe
that don't
we
know,
actually played horse at your place, and I lost my hide. I could be wrong. I just don't remember.
well, okay, shooting. When you're just there with friends and shooting, and you play horse and stuff like that, friendly competition. I mean, that's fun doing it with friends, but I didn't know how much I sucked with a pistol until I went and shot at competitions against people that go out there. Some of these guys are out there every weekend shooting competitions, and I was just going out once or twice a month. And after 2 years, I can now consider myself competent with a pistol.
I got into shooting steel challenge a little bit a few years ago, and I ended up, having quite a bit of fun doing it. But the most enjoyable part was, it's a timing thing and basic drills, and you should be able to hit these steel plates. It's more managing your time as much as anything, for me anyway. But the funny thing was, there were a couple of guys there that are all FN fanboys, right? I mean, I like FNs, but they had the jackets, the holsters, the everything, right? Had to be FN matching. And I just kicked their butt. It was like, guys, you need to use your weapons. Practice. It's going to help you a lot more. I took my Canic out there. Now, Canic Rival is a pretty awesome gun, but it was just like so easy to smoke those targets.
Yeah, I looked at it. I was shooting these classifiers. A lot of them are just working with the basic skills. You go through, shoot each target one round, do a mag change, and then go through and shoot it with strong hand only or with support hand only. I mean, that just goes, it's working to your competency. And hello, Alaskan Ballistics.
Hey, bro.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty
What's
good.
happening, man?
Not a whole lot. Did Alan change his name again, or is it still Janice Gay?
No, this evening it is Romeo Be Pro to you.
Oh my goodness, Barry White. I didn't know you existed still.
You got another dot. It's a Romeo.
Sweet talking, man.
Yeah, no, that mic, whatever microphone you're using is pretty good, Romeo. Romeo Be Pro.
It's that stuff, Ozzy.
Oh yeah, the Super X, the standard 350 Legend Deer Killer, but yet inconsistent. Which
is basically, I believe, the same thing. Both 180 grain.
Well, it's only inconsistent because it's Winchester ammo, right?
Yep.
How fast is that moving, Jamie?
There's a 180 grain bullet moving at 2,100 feet per second at the muzzle.
That's a pretty good load. Yeah.
I saw a channel one time, I forgot who it was, but he was hand loading the Underwood 68 grain Extreme Penetrator in 350 Legend. I think he was getting he wasn't to his max charge yet, and he was getting like 2950, 2960, something like that. All copper bullet. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, Jamie was talking about one. He was out and went to take a shot, and it didn't function right. Failure in the ammo.
Yeah, I've seen so many inconsistencies in both Remington Core Lock and Winchester PowerPoints. More with Remington Core Lock. I've seen the core not lock. I've seen it separate pretty badly. I've seen like 270 22-inch barrel just getting like 400 feet per second, less than what it should be. I've seen like just standard deviations in the same box of ammo way up over 60 or 70. You could miss something at 300 or 400 yards just from the difference in speed of the two rounds. You could do everything right, and that round would be wrong. And I've seen different colored primers in the same box, which would explain a lot. They're having different burn rates.
Yep, I've seen that a lot with Winchester, different primers. Yep.
I had a box of Remington Core Lock, 150 grain, 35 Remington bullets. 10 of the 20 failed to fire. 10 of the 20.
I will say that even with hand loading, with the primer crunch and shortage lately, I've had hand loading primers fail to fire. Like I have one in a video that I can't publish till later because the company's out of stock right now and they want to wait till out of stock. But like You know, I could send you I could email y'all a link and you could see that it's a hand loaded bullet and it's got a perfect. I didn't press the primer in too hard or nothing. It's crazy. I've seen a lot of bad primers lately. I mean, I think they're just mass producing them so fast, and people are buying them up so fast they can't keep up. So now their quality is going down.
Yeah, well, and I think part of that too is you're seeing a lot more companies just magically popping up making primers.
Magtech just released
Or we're
primers.
getting the leftovers, the end of runs and things like that, the partial batches from military contracts, A lot of that.
Absolutely. Magtech just came out with primers. White River is a new company in Arkansas, just came out with primers. The new Ginnix, I mean, they've been around for forever. European imported primers.
White River, they've been selling over near you, Scotsman, by, I forget the company. Somebody in Ohio there was selling them.
Yeah, Mid-South is selling them right now. I had them on sale this weekend.
Are they?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to say that on YouTube. Actually, I'm not sorry, but
yeah, there's a few places that have White River. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of different ones been popping up of late. There was one in Texas. There's I forget the name of it, but there's a few of them out there now. And that's part of the issue too. Is these companies just magically pop up and they just start pumping them out like crazy, and there's no control as to what they're doing.
yeah, and
I haven't seen a shortage of the primers yet.
Have you looked for large rifle Magnum? You can't get it here. And if you do, you might pay $150. A brick of 1,000.
Yeah, that's always going to be a problem.
Yeah, so one of my friends the guy I got this moose with, actually, he had ordered some from Natchez, and Natchez was willing to 2-day air ship them up here. So I'm betting he paid way close to $200, if not $225 or more, for for just large rifle Magnum primers, but he couldn't get them anywhere else. And I know the primers at that time were $119 on Natchez, so they had them on sale for Black Friday a little bit last week and the week before. But I know they were $119 at that time. That was over a year ago. And he was telling me he had it shipped in. I have no idea what it was cost, because you have to import and export to come in and out of Alaska with powder, ammo, or primers, or flare stuff and some fireworks and stuff like that. But yeah, so you have to import. It has to go into an exporter's log in Washington State and an import. So how they got around that to ship it next day air, I have no idea, because it's not allowed to stop over in Canada. And so, which is why, with all the crap going on in Canada, British Columbia and the Yukon territories and the Northwest territories, maybe a few others, just needs to secede from Canada and join the United States.
Yeah, do you think those
Canadian
folks
Postal's on
in
strike.
Canada are going to start raising some cane about Trudeau and all of his anti-gun BS?
Well, I mean, they might, but what are they going to do? I mean, are they going to, they're at the point where they're confiscating hunting rifles that can be seen as tactical rifles. I mean, these things. Oh, I can shoot 500 yards. Oh, that's a sniper rifle. They're at that point. They're at that point where there's a lot of things being banned that should have never been banned, but they're at that point. And so, I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, at that point, if we were at the point they are in Canada, in the United States right now, it would be civil war. There would be people going around shooting the people at the buyback stations. There'd be National Guard all around all the buyback stations. And if they came to your door, you would have, I won't say anybody. I don't know anybody that would ever do this, but possibly there might be some nails and tannerite in a flower pot at your door. So I'm just saying. I mean, that's where the point they're at.
I think the one post I saw said it was 135 different guns they added to the list.
Mm-hmm.
325 different guns this go around, and they're sending them to Ukraine.
Good luck on them, the Ukraine finding all the weird calibers, because they're
Yeah.
fighting a war. They're using a standard 223 or 5.56.
Yep.
How many of them is going to be shooting a 30-06 or a 30-30?
Probably about 0.
And we all would if we could, but
30-06 maybe. 30-30 no. 0, none.
William
All right,
Knott, you just paid $130 for small rifle magnums. Man, that's awful, dude.
Yep.
Could've got-
Alan, we're right around halfway, man. You want to go through the side chat?
Oh yeah, it's been rolling out there. That is if YouTube will allow me. Thank you very much, YouTube. Much obliged to you for allowing us to run on your platform. MCK, Ozzy Osbourne, Red Rider Reloading, William Nah. Yeah, the Alaskan Ballistics just jumped in with us. Hillbilly Up, West 8. Vanessa Kitty was out there. The Tactical Fud, the Ozzy Osbourne. I think I said that before. Chris from the 740 was out there. Not sure if he's still stuck around with us or not. But yep, Alaska One, Andy. Good to see everybody still out there having a great evening here.
I saw
Good
a
deal,
question
man.
out there we probably need to pay some attention to. Ozzy.
Yeah, hang on.
That was the difference between the yeah, there you go. Isn't that on how hard the hardness of the primer, the metal in it?
That would be the major difference, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, the rifle primer is a lot hard. The metal in it is a lot harder than a pistol primer.
So I watched a video a few years back when the primer crisis hit and you couldn't buy primers anywhere. This guy tried it loaded 9mm with small pistol, obviously small pistol magnum, small rifle, and small rifle magnum, and he loaded, he's loaded full power loads or close to full power loads, and there was absolutely no difference between any of them. They all fired, no pressure signs, all the brass could be reloaded. So that just, there been more testing to see if different stuff was happening, but to me, I've told people a lot, if you're loading large rifle cartridges that hold more than 50 grains of powder, just put a Magnum primer in it. Of course, now you can't, because you're going to get a much better, cleaner burn, and you're going to get more burn in the actual casing. So your velocities are a little bit better, and a better burn leads to a smoother burn, so you got better barrel harmonics. In theory, right? It doesn't always work out that way, but I've loaded 7mm 08 with a Magnum primer all the way up with the 150 grain Barnes. That's a long bullet for 7mm 08, and right at the max, and it was fine. So I'm going to tell people yes, use caution. Yes, go do your own test. Don't trust my judgment or my word for it. But generally, there's very little difference between the primers. I need to do a test.
No, and ultimately, ignition rate's going to be more about your powder than it is the primer anyway.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I've been thinking about doing a test with my Model 30 from the company that is too good for Scotsman to name, and use my Model 30 45 and just put in large pistol magnum, large rifle magnum into some 45 caliber casings, no powder whatsoever, stick them on a board that has inches, drawn out, put a slow motion camera there, and see how much flash we get from each primer. I've been thinking about doing that, but slow motion cameras are expensive. I couldn't do it with like a regular GoPro or anything like that. You'd never catch it.
So you all heard that, right? Chuck said he didn't want to be on. That's what he said.
Hey, if he ever comes down here, we'll see if he can beat that other guy's record for how many malfunctions in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good test.
Yeah,
I know exactly how to beat it.
just never clean your gun out and let it all gum up in there where that striker fire system runs.
Yeah, something like
Put
that. Or
Winchester white box ammo in it.
Ironically, I was about to say that. I put my suppressor, my Hybrid 46, on my Model 34 of the company that is too good for Scotsman to be named, and I put it on the Model 34, and only the Winchester white box 147 was hot enough to consistently run it with a suppressor on it. That's a long slide with a long barrel. I think it's 5.5 inch or something like that. It's a Faxon barrel in it. And if I ran even Federal American Eagles, or I ran S&B in it, it would malfunction every other round. Because they're just not hot enough to work the slide. But that's not the gun. That's not the gun's fault. But I could make it malfunction 50 times in a minute if you wanted me to. So that's you're adding a bunch of stuff that the gun's not designed to do. So
sort of like if you were going after a high-ranking member of some healthcare agency. What the hat happened there? I know a lot of people have already put videos out and just going, okay, yeah, this guy was an amateur. You can see that he's cycling the slide every single shot that he takes. He's just going through malfunctions. I just figured, yeah, it's wasn't set up right, and the guy didn't. Either he was using Winchester white box or some really underpowered loads.
Well, what probably ended up happening was he met someone from the 3-letter agency. They handed it to him, didn't really show him how to use it, and then he walked around the corner and got what he got.
Yeah, probably that's that. Ironically, Winchester white box was the only stuff that did run with my Model 34 from the company Scotsman. Too good to touch Scotsman.
So you got to have crap ammo for a crap gun.
Something like that, yeah.
You got to fill up those tolerances with gunk.
That's right.
That's it.
Is that what I've been doing wrong all these years?
All right, Daniel, give us another topic.
I was just wondering this whole thing about, I'm still all about primers. I haven't seen any kind of shortage, and I haven't seen any kind of price increase on them.
You're still getting them for $40 or $50 a thousand?
I can get it for $63 for 1,000. And if I go up here to the Finn, this other place, I get them for $69 for a brick. But I've networked out to where, these manufacturers and stuff like that, where I get them at their cost now. Because I actually have a real range in my backyard now. And whenever they want to do some testing on a gun or do a safety class or whatever, they come out here. So
they just see you walk in the store and they're like, man, just give this guy a discount on primers and he'll leave.
Yep. Get him the hell out of here.
Yeah. You really can't find a single brick online at any of the stores on a free shipping, free hazmat weekend for less than about $70, $60 to $70.
I got a brick of large rifle Magnum if Federals.
Hmm.
And, it's like, well, I really don't use them. It's like I ran into this guy at the one gun shop because he was looking for them. And this was like last year, they didn't have any. And I said, well, you turn around, you buy that brick, a small rifle, and I'll bring the brick in and we'll just do an even trade on them. And he didn't want to do it. I hope he's still kicking himself in the ass for not doing that.
Yeah, because large rifle magnums have not been around, at least not up here. And when they are, they're $99. The last time I bought one in the store was $99. That was over a year ago. I think actually no. Federal gold medal matches came into one of the other stores. They were letting you buy 2 sleeves. I think they're $12.95 each.
Jeez.
Oh,
Are we seeing any kind of powder shortages yet?
Only from
No.
the certain manufacturers that kept having them. Like I'm not going to mention any names, Alliant, but there's Alliant's probably going to be like non-existent next year.
That just because the military contracts?
No. So the number one exporter of gun cotton, which is the primary chemical that
China.
you make, is China. So with China shutting that down to allies of Ukraine, essentially, Sweden, where Alliant is made, is they just don't get the chemicals that they need to make the powder. I mean, Sweden joined NATO, right? Am I wrong? But
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, but there's a couple other chemicals that are on the short list as well. And it's not just China. There's a couple other places, but I think we'll see some of that stuff change. I don't think all of it will change, but we'll see some of it change here soon. But it'll take a while for things to come around.
Yeah, I've got enough powder where I can shoot, keep practicing and go shoot competitions next year with pistols. I always want to make sure I keep myself 5 pounds sitting on the side,
Yeah, I mean, powder wise and stuff, I'm pretty decent on powder. Primers, I could use a little more, but that's an always thing, I mean, I got enough, but can always have more.
I think I'm pretty good at powder. I'm sitting here looking at my powder shelf. I got 7.5 pounds of reloader 22, 8+ pounds of TAC, a few pounds of Magnum, several pounds of H335, H380, H4831 SC, a few various other ones, 3 or 4 pounds of IMR 4831, 9 pounds of BLC2. Yeah, my pistol powders. I don't reload as much pistol powders. I got some HS6 and some AA number 9 and a few others. Power pistol, just some random pounds over there. But I don't go shoot pistol competitions, so.
Hey, is a 357 good for bear up there?
It would be considered like kind of the minimum gun you'd want to have on your hip. Yeah. There's a lot of people that'll tell you to file the front sight off of that 357.
Why?
That way, when the bear shoves it up your ass, it won't hurt that much. I've heard that joke in my comment section so much I'm tired of it, and then I just said it, so I'm a hypocrite. I'm sorry, but I would much rather have a 10 millimeter than a 357 Magnum, because modern 10 millimeters run well if they're a quality gun, and you got 16 shots, or even if let's say it jams on shot number 10 or 12, you just got more shots than a revolver. I'd much rather have 10 millimeter.
If you have enough time to fire off 15 shots on a bear, I would think you got enough time to climb a tree.
First of all, grizzlies climb. That's a myth. And secondly, like
you don't have trees up there. You got brush.
No, we have trees in southern Alaska. We're big boreal forest.
They're really small.
No, they're not. We have trees all the way up to the Brooks Range. We have more trees in Alaska than the whole lower 48 combined. that are 40 or 50 feet tall. I promise you. So like you get north of the Brooks Range, there's no trees. Or out like in the western portion of near the ocean, yeah, there's no trees. From like Nome to Bethel to Prudhoe Bay, that kind of arc around the top of Alaska to the side, and sometimes lower than Nome. But yeah, there's plenty of trees by my house, man. Like there are tons of trees. There are big hardwood trees that have been growing for 300 years, man. I couldn't wrap my arms around them in a hug. So
And it's considered a rainforest in southern Alaska, right?
Yeah, southern Alaska is considered a rainforest. Well, the panhandle of Alaska, where Juneau is, and all those little islands that go by next to Canada down to Vancouver. Yeah, that's considered a rainforest. Southern Alaska is more considered a rainy temperate, kind of like in between a temperate and that. Because we get, 85-degree weather pretty often every summer. Sometimes we got, like the day Courtney and I got married, outside was 93 degrees. It was the hottest day on the record for that date. And the next 2 days while we were in Hawaii, it got up to 97. And of course, nobody has air conditioning. But of course, last year it got down to negative 33. So, whatever. I don't call that temperate, but what do I know? Yeah.
All right, Daniel, another topic.
All right. How do you take care? What do you do with the meat that you get from your deer? Jamie.
I eat it.
Well, what do you just do steaks? Do you do burgers? Do you pressure can any?
No, excuse me. I think the most important thing about killing or harvesting an animal is you've got to age that meat before you start throwing it in the freezer. I believe you need a deer. I think that animal needs to be aged at least 3 days before you start processing it and putting it in the freezer. And when I say processing, I'm talking about getting all that silver skin, all of that clear membrane, everything off of there. I want just nothing but pure red meat left. And yeah, that's a job. But I tend to smoke my hindquarters. I tend to grill my back straps and the tenderloin, and then make roast out of the 2 front quarters. And then everything else is ground up and either into burger or breakfast sausage mixed with some pork fat or pork trimmings. And if you guys want to make some sausage, there's this thing called, there's little packs. It's called Legs, LEGG' sausage seasoning. And it's like $2.75, and it'll season up to 25 pounds of meat. So don't worry about those spices that you need to mix up your own, but just go get some of that and make life easy on yourself and have some nice breakfast sausage. I tend to go about 1/3 fat with the deer meat because anybody that hunts and has done that, it's hard to fry up deer burger and without adding some oil or fat into the mix. And especially breakfast sausage, you need that fat in there just to bind it and then to fry it and brown it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. I mean, when I process mine here, I just make sure I get all that fat off of it. And you know what you're talking about, the silver, that the tendon and membrane, because that there kind of get chewy. But yeah, I just slice my back straps up into steak size and fry them puppies up in mushroom and onion with some butter. You know, I usually do some roast but you know, do the meat and potatoes. But I'll chunk up a bunch of like the shoulders, and that's what I'll brown it, and then I will pressure can it because later on you can throw it in a stew or you can just steam it out where you can put the barbecue sauce on it and have like a pulled, like a pulled beef sandwich kind of thing. But I just, do it with the deer. You can't tell the difference between beef and the deer when you do that.
If it's done properly, I agree.
Yeah.
There's a slight difference in the texture, but yeah.
The
But
best
one thing,
deer.
the bucks, especially if they're in the rut, those there is going to end up being either summer sausage, trail bologna, or deer sticks. That's why I tend to try to stay away from shooting a buck unless it's a big one. Just go for the does for the meat.
Talk about mild steaks. Some of the best deer steak I've ever had was it was a doe, but it was also we butchered it. They put the steak before we cooked it in beer for a week in the fridge, and it was the most mild, really good flavor steak ever. Something about that combination really works out.
Yeah, what I do is, just like what Jamie said, let that age for just a while. Don't just go to processing and just throw it straight in the freezer.
Right.
Got to let that set out. I don't know if it almost helps the muscle fiber break down a little bit just from the aging or what it is, but I've had way better luck letting it age, 3-4 days on that and then go to process on it. And like on my steaks and stuff like that, I will take I just take buttermilk and soak those for a good day in the refrigerator. Then I season it up and then I throw it on. And I've always had good luck that way. But yeah, definitely get all that fat off.
That's
Go
the
with
key,
pork.
getting that fat off and getting the glands off.
Yep. So, and yeah, I never even thought about that, but yeah, for the actual breakfast sausage on that, maybe I wasn't using enough pork fat or renderings, whatever, in the meat for that, but I never could get it to quite turn out right. But you said legs, LEGG''S, Jamie?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll have to try that next time.
You can, if you have a small mom and pop grocery store in your area that has their own butcher shop, I guarantee you two things. They'll have that or they can order it for you and they will be able to sell you some pork trimmings.
Yeah, I know my one of our grocery stores does that. I don't know about the seasoning, but yeah, I can get bacon fat from them all the time because I cook it down, render it, and I use that to cook with most of the time versus just about anything else.
I'm going on Amazon. I'll see if they've got it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, Chuck, how do you process, man?
First of all, it's a long time. I have learned that it's so important that your meat be taken care of in transport because you're not rolling your truck up to a deer stand here and throwing your meat in the back and rolling back off and hanging it in your garage for 3 days. I had a bunch of meat last year from this moose fall off into the game bag it was in, ripped, fell off the four-wheeler. We were 5 miles back from the highway or something like that. Fell off the four-wheeler. We went and picked it all up, I brushed it off as best we could, but it had little pebbles and dirts in them. And when I let it age for 3 days, it was rotten from all that stuff. So how well you take care of it is very, very important. I do think it's important to get it on ice as soon as possible. And a lot of people disagree because the ice melts and now you got more water in there and you got to drain all that water. Yeah, you do. Hanging it does help, but I don't do it more than about a day. And just it depends on the temperatures. There's no way, Jamie, I would hang a deer for 3 days in Georgia when it's 75, 80 degrees in the afternoon on one of those warm spells that you get. Now, if you have a
No.
walk-in freezer, that's totally different, obviously.
No, what I'm talking about is exactly what you're talking about. Get it quartered up, get it in a cooler, get ice on top of it. And as that ice is melting, it's washing away that blood and
Yep.
all of that foulness. Now, you guys that live in a more, a cooler environment, if you got a barn, like say Pat in the bunker, if I know he's got a nice barn. If you've got a day where it's going to be between, say, below 40 but above freezing, that's perfect. That is perfect.
Then you hang it up.
Agreed. Yep.
Then you hang it for about 3 days and then maybe 4. This is what a lot of people don't realize, that the beef you buy in the store, when they slaughter that animal, it hangs for 2 weeks before they touch it.
Mhm.
It is they dress it, they wash it all out, and some people will leave the skin on, some people take the skin off. That's a thing that you'd have to decide and experiment with. But yeah, pork, beef, everything you buy in the grocery store has been aged like that for that exact purpose, to get that gamey flavor out of your meat. And that's why a lot of people don't like, especially the ladies, well, that's just too gamey. It's just too wild tasting. And yeah, you take good care of your meat, like what Alaskan Ballistics is talking about. And it starts the instant you squeeze that trigger and you see that projectile hit that target and you see that animal go down, or if it runs off, you got to track it. It starts right then. Because let me tell you, once that animal hits the ground, the fun's over and the work starts. And it's a lot of it.
Yeah, my dad always says the fun's over from the time the shooting ends till the eating begins. And that's the truth right there. So to finish answering the question, I'm glad we're on the same page, Jamie. Um, I will cut my caribou or my moose. I will cut that flank steak that's out in the rear. They have that big, it's like this on a whitetail, but it's this big on a caribou and even bigger on a moose. And I will cut that out. And I will get all the skin off of that, and I will cut those out of the rear quarters. And there's a smaller one on the front quarters as well. I will either chop it into steaks, because they're that big around, something like that, or I will set it out and pepper it and grill it on both sides until it's cooked halfway through and it's medium rare, and I'll cut it like meatloaf and serve it up next to the turkey at Thanksgiving dinner. And I marinate mine in a coconut amino acids because I can't do soy or pork. I marinate all of my meat in coconut amino acids and some type of sparkling water. That will get it out just as good as beer. I don't know who was talking about beer earlier, but yeah, beer and sparkling water will get it out. I do like cooking a lot of the meat, marinating it in beer and sparkling water. That carbonation will also get that gamey taste out. But you don't want a carbonation with a lot of flavor. I've tried it once with deer because my ex-wife was like the same way. It's too gamey. That's too gamey. She'll hunt and kill deer on her property. It's too gamey. It's too gamey. I'm like, okay. So I tried it once with orange Fanta soda. Don't do that. They make your deer taste like orange Fanta soda. Yeah. So that's a mistake you can learn from me. And I just I take good care of it. Everything else that's not those flank steaks, the tenderloin, the back straps, everything else is sent into the burger. Even if it's really good meat for steaks, it's sent into the burger, and you have better burgers. Because I'm going to 9% of the time, I'm not going to want to marinate and cook something. I just want to throw something. I want to put it in the microwave. Now, I don't put any pork fat with it because I don't eat pork for dietary issues. But definitely not a bad way to go. So
Okay, Scotsman, do you still marinate your deer in that White Claw?
Can I show
Someone's got
something?
jokes.
That's a bit cold.
Can I share something, Scotsman?
Absolutely, brother.
I got I found this for Pat. That's the stuff right there.
Oh, okay. Awesome. All right. Well, maybe I'll have to get some of that for the next go around because I actually I did get one this year, Jamie.
This is what I'm telling y'all. Y'all mix up your pork trimmings with venison. 1/3 pork, 2/3 venison, and season it with that stuff. Now go a little at a time. You can always put some more in, but you're going to play rough time getting it back out of there. So season it, make a little bitty patty, and fry it up, and see if you like that flavor. And then once you get it all mixed up, let it set overnight before you. What I do is I weigh out 1 pound things and put it vacuum seal the packages and put it in the freezer. But always let it sit overnight to let those flavors kind of marinate in that meat. And I'm telling you, you'll make Jimmy Dean jealous.
Nice. Well, thank you for looking that up for me, Jamie. I'll have to try that.
are the ingredients in that, like I have celiac disease with IBS, so like I have to be really careful what I eat. Are the ingredients in that pretty organic, or is there a lot of food dyes and colorings and chemicals and BHA and all that kind of stuff? Because if I go to Cabela's and try to buy some sausage mix in their meat section, like it's all crap I couldn't have and I wouldn't serve to anybody else either. So I didn't know if you knew if the ingredients were. I hate to sound like a kale eating liberal, but just who I am.
Well, you shoot a Glock, so that's
There's that.
it speaks for itself.
The ingredients say salt, spices, and sugar.
Well, that isn't too bad. So, what I want to find out what those exact spices are, where I can buy just the spices. That's what I want to find out.
Well, that's a proprietary secret, brother.
Well, yeah, I know, but
I don't think they're going.
There's got to be something out there that the spices for actual sausage.
Well, there's plenty of. You can look plenty of that stuff up online. It says statements regarding dietary supplements have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or health condition.
So don't sue them if it gives me this runs. Gotcha.
Right. And they have other blends as well. They have them for like if you want to make smoked sausage or pork sausage seasoning. I just use that number 10 because that's what's available in my neighborhood. But it works, and it works really well to me.
I'm willing to give it a try.
All right, Daniel, another topic.
Hey, Romeo didn't tell Allie did his deer meat.
I think there's a reason for that.
Well, that's because I've never actually hunted anything on 4 legs.
So you don't hunt deer, but you don't hunt deer, but you do chase whitetail.
and they're
Whitetail,
very
black
easy
tail,
to
yellowtail.
very easy to bait with White Claw nowadays.
I've heard them called
Very
two-legged
easy
split
to bait
tail.
with.
Whatever.
Yeah, and very, very easy to bait them with White Claw nowadays. So you already start having them ingest the White Claw before you take them down.
I just made the chat PG-13. I'm sorry, guys.
Is that marinating with White Claw? Is that what that really is?
Yes,
That's what Scotsman uses.
internally marinating with White Claw. Yes.
Yeah, Scotsman loves White Claw.
Nah, absolutely
Ugh.
hell no.
Ugh.
I don't care what happens to anyone else out there. There's no way in hell I'm drinking another one. I don't care what the fundraiser is. Sorry, not doing it again. Not sorry.
It's
You'd
making
probably
me
shave
burp
your
just think
beard
about it.
before you drink a White Claw.
Oh, look at that. Romeo's got that nice little White Claw
Yeah.
symbol right
I'm getting burpy and having flashbacks just thinking about that night.
How can anybody drink a White Claw? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, and I don't know how, but that was the first and the last time I'll ever drink White Claw.
What I can't figure out is how they sell enough of that crap to stay in business.
Ugh.
Today's college students is the answer to that. Today's college students, for some oddball reason, they absolutely love that crap.
It's the crowd that hold one pinky up and sip one can for an entire day.
Well, it's
What happened to Past Blue Ribbon for cheap beer?
well, you know, I had a conversation with Snowflake at work on Friday, and he was telling me all the different things he drinks and this, that, the other, because whiskey came up, and he's like, I don't like whiskey, and he's telling me all the stuff he drinks, and he's talking about Jaeger and all this other crap, and I'm like, dude, that stuff is literally shit in a fucking bottle or a can. Like, how do you even drink that? Oh, he loves it. He loves it. Like, dude, I don't understand. And it's the same thing with the White Claw. They all seem to love this stuff, and it's absolutely freaking disgusting. But you put a nice 16-year-old whiskey in front of them, and they go, ugh.
I had a IPA the other day that's gluten-free, because all beer is not gluten-free, and neither is whiskey, obviously. And that was the first time I've drank in like 6 months. Like, I just don't drink anymore. Like, I don't need it. I don't need the buzz. I don't need to relax from it. Maybe that's why I'm always high strung. I don't know.
William, no, it's not beer. They call it hard seltzer. Basically, it's flavored seltzer water or carbonated liquid with a little bit of alcohol. Like
the carbonation is through the fucking roof. The carbonation is insane. That's for sure.
I did take that case of beer that I bought and used it to cook the Thanksgiving dinner turkey. My wife got up early and did it this year. She kind of screwed it up a little bit, but I don't want to say that too loud. She can hear me. But anyway, like what I do is I bake the turkey for 2 hours on about 10 degrees less than what it says to. And then I drink half of each beer, and they're in cans. And then I fill each beer with some type of sparkling water and ketchup or barbecue sauce or something like that, whatever spices you want. And then for the next 2.5 hours, I put the temperature slightly over what it's supposed to be and put the turkey right on top of the beer cans. It's called a drunken turkey. And it is delicious because it'll be fully cooked and as moist as a filet mignon medium rare.
Uh-oh, we're turning into a cooking channel here. We need to turn the tide.
All right, we'll turn the tide, man. Change the subject.
What's the best gun? What are the best semi-automatic guns out there? pistol wise? Jamie,
Oh,
what do you carry?
This might get Chuck kicked off.
What's the question again?
What is your go-to semi-automatic pistol? What's your favorite?
For what
Semi-auto.
purpose? Carry or
Go
target?
to for what purpose?
I do both. I mean, my carry gun is my shooting gun. I'm asking Jamie, what's your favorite
that's
semi-automatic pistol?
That's because your wife takes all the guns you buy. But
Alan, this is directed to Jamie. Shh.
My favorite semi-auto is probably my CZ75. I really like my Colt 1911, but my carry is a Smith & Wesson Shield and 40.
Hasbro.
Well, if I had to pick one, it's a Springfield 1911 out of their custom shop that I bought. It's a special version for target shooting. And it's just the most stupid accurate gun with hand loads. And you can carry it too. I have, but it's more for target shooting. Or allowed speed, I'd probably go my Canic. Canic Rivals, just the best trigger in any striker fire gun I've ever shot. It's just amazing.
Pat.
Well, if I'm gonna go with my carry, it's gonna be the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus 9mm. It's small enough that it'll actually at least halfway hide on my body because I'm not a very big guy, pretty thin-waisted. But if it's my range gun, carry gun outside the waistband, it's going to be my the old tank itself, the P95 DC Ruger, and just upgraded the mags on it. Went to 15 rounders on it, and it just runs. It's been a dang good old gun. I can't complain one damn bit about it. It's accurate. I can shoot well with it. So anyway, those are my two picks right now. I really haven't. I'd like to get into a newer full-size pistol at some point in time, but I'm still up in the air on what that would be yet.
Alan.
Oh, hum. So in the rotation for the carry currently is, well, the 365 XL is sort of the around town. If I'm going other places, I want to carry the 10mm. And so I went and compared the Eclipse Nighthawk 10mm Kimber that I had acquired and against the SIG X10. And I end up carrying the SIG X10. But that's pretty much an outside the waistband. But if I'm carrying outside the waistband and just really, really, really enjoy shooting it now, I gotta say it's got to be the more lighter flavor, and it's going to be the CZ Shadow 2 Compact.
Optics ready.
Ooh.
Scotsman.
Yeah, with the Hollow Sun Comp green dot. It's lovely.
Scotsman.
For me, y'all know my two favorites, man, when it comes to semi-autos. We also got to have my Shadow 2 in there. I got so many rounds through that thing, I couldn't even tell you how many it is. I lost count. All I can tell you is that Dylan 650 paid for itself within the first month of having it. So yeah, that thing's got so many rounds through it, it's crazy. And then my PO1, man. CZ, baby.
Well, who's going to guess what my gun is? My favorite one.
Is it that CZ that dropped all the browns out of the bottom of the magazine?
Oh, the SPO1 that had a magazine. It was a there was a actually it was a known defect for CZ, and they turned around and corrected that problem. I wasn't the only one. That was the first CZ I bought. But no, right now I've been carrying the Shadow 2 Optics Ready Compact as my carry gun and my competition gun here for the full last solid year. And I didn't think any gun out there could get better than my PO1. But throwing that optic on there, and I learned how to use the optic now, it's like I'm strictly outside the waistband carry. And last but not least, so far we have 6 people. I mean, varied taste. You got Rugers, you got SIGs, you got CZs, you got Smith and Wessons. What else was there? Did I miss anything?
Some Colt 1911s and Springfield 1911s were in
Okay,
there.
the Colt and the Spring. So very varied taste. And so far, I think everybody up there has had very good taste. So Alaska Ballistics, can you keep this trend going?
Well,
No
I have
pressure.
better taste than all of y'all, so that's all I got to say. But my non-wilderness carry package is a Beretta APX in the winter under my coat, and a Smith and Wesson Shield 40 Gen 1, just like Jamie, in my coat pocket with a pocket holster, of course. So those are my winter carry packages. But I have other things for summer that are far better guns than you gun snobs like.
Well, I know he's not talking about me because I'm running a P95 DC Ruger.
That's pretty snobby right there, man.
I like. I've got a APX A1. I like it pretty well.
I like my APX. I have the one before they did the A1. I have the original. It's just not as accurate as my guns that are better than Scotsman's. So
Well, it's like this. I think all of us actually shoot our carry guns, and not just once a year or once every couple of months. I think we like our guns no matter what brand they are, is because we've become very accurate and proficient, which whatever gun we have, it's just that there's one brand of gun that you need to shoot a whole lot more to become proficient and accurate with it, because Glocks suck.
Well, let me catapult us into this, since we're kind of on this little rail here. I'll take the duties away from Daniel for one session on this. Go ahead. How often do you actually shoot your carry gun?
once a month. Once a month. It's mostly in the holster all the time, loaded. I'll go shoot it once a month.
How many mags?
Shit, I don't know how many mags I'll shoot, but I'll shoot 2 to 3 boxes of 9mm if it's 9mm. If it's 10mm, I probably only shoot 1 box full.
Right.
But I always carry with factory ammo, and I always practice with factory ammo, unless I'm testing a hand load. The hand loads are kind of, hollow points that are sitting back for when the commies invade. But
right.
Yeah.
So Daniel.
All right, once deer season kicked in, I haven't shot except for going to competitions once a month. But when deer season was not in, I would go out, because my competition and carry gun is the same gun. So at home, I'm on the other extreme end. I would go outside and shoot 5 times a week, and each session would be over 200 rounds.
Oh, you definitely got me beat. Hasbro.
Sorry, I'm half asleep. No, I was answering a text. What was my question?
Okay. How often do you actually practice with your carry gun?
Oh, that's a bad question to ask for me. If you asked me about a rifle, I could tell you almost every week. But my carry gun, every maybe 6-8 weeks, I'll take it out and shoot it, something like that. Probably not enough, to be honest. But I can hit when I need to.
All that matters. Jamie.
I'm probably like Hasbro. I don't get to go to the range as much as I want, but every 6 or 8 weeks, I'll go run 3 or 4 magazines through my carry gun and shoot the others. I tend to shoot the others more because that gun that you're carrying, it's automatic. You know what I mean? You're just keeping yourself sharp with it, or at least that's the way I feel about it. You shoot a lot with that when you first get it. Then, every month or two, you go out there and pop off about 50 rounds, you're fine. Then you need to be shooting those others to get proficient with them, as Daniel was talking about. Does that make any sense?
Yep.
Yep.
One of the best drills I've had recently at a contest I was at was, it was sort of used as a tiebreaker, was take your carry gun and from whatever you carry it, whatever position you carry it, whatever, shoot 7 yards. And you got max points for heart shots. Headshot was a little less, things like that. And you don't have time because it's timed, right? You got to do it quick. And you learn natural point of aim, right? You don't aim, you react and put it right there. And for some reason, that's instinctive for me. And I had no issue shooting perfect scores on that. But it's just when you get to where it's a natural reaction, kind of like what Jamie was saying, then you're where you need to be.
Nice. Romeo, be pro.
Well, it honestly depends upon partially on the system and partially just what's going on with my life, man. If I'm able to get out to the range every other weekend, I'm shooting it every other weekend. And it kind of depends upon how much ammo I brought with me. Because I try to end every one of my range sessions by putting at least a mag or two through my carry gun, whatever gun I'm carrying at that time. But usually, a lot of people tell you, oh, just carry the same gun all the time. I just don't. But I do take the guns that are in my rotation every time I go to the range, pretty much. So whatever's actually in the waistband at that time, on the waistband at that time, I prefer to end every single one of my range trips with at the very, very least, a mag or two through that. If I didn't shoot it at any other time.
You would have more time if you quit baiting those girls with White Claws.
Yeah, well, I'm not married to an attractive woman and don't live in Alaska, so I have to try to goat these cornhole girls with White Claw.
Interesting. Anyway, Scotsman.
So before I had all these back issues and everything else, I would generally shoot anywhere between bare minimum, usually around 500 rounds a month or more. But with all the issues I've been having lately, I have not been loading anywhere near that or getting out and shooting anywhere near that. But typically, when I am feeling good and I have the stuff to do it, it'll be anywhere 500 plus easy a month.
Nice.
I got a similar line of questioning, if I might take the subject changer here.
Well, before you answer, you were next.
Oh, I was next?
Yeah.
No, I already went on this question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was the last one to go.
Okay.
So yeah. Go, I'll make it quick. Every 3 to 4 weeks, I have 4 mags, and I run all 4 mags through it, typically. And unless it's right around harvest time or spring planting, then it could get pushed back a little bit further. But
Yeah.
that's what I like to do every 3 to 4 weeks.
I mean, all you guys, you're getting out there, you're shooting your gun, your carry guns on a lot, really consistent. How many people I know, they only go out once a year, if that, and shoot their carry guns, and then they wonder why they can't hit anything. And it doesn't matter what gun, what brand of gun it is. I mean, they're only going out once a year. And some people, I doubt if they even practiced with their guns since they got their carry concealed license.
Yeah, or why does it jam? Or they ask, why does it jam? I only shoot it once a year.
Yeah, full of pocket.
You get all that belly button lit in it.
You see it all the time. So one of the guys I used to work with in Georgia telling me a story about, I think it was a detective or a sergeant he worked with in the police force. And the guy had been doing the same job for close to 30 years. Hadn't drew his gun in 30 years. And apparently didn't go and shoot qualifications or anything or whatever in quite some time. Somehow got away with it. Don't know how. But anyway, he asked him to take his gun out so he could look at it and see what condition it was in. And it literally had green and white and you name it all over it. It literally had mold. He had not drew his gun in so long.
I love my guns too much for that. I have to fondle them once in a while.
Yeah.
Right?
Yikes.
I could just go out. I could sit out in the backyard, and just shoot all day long. Because I don't drink. I don't golf. And so that is my relaxation. I just really enjoy it.
Okay, well, let me stop you for a second. You said you don't drink and you don't golf. Well, they go hand in hand, so you you don't separate the two because they go hand in hand.
Okay, since I developed an allergy to all alcohol and it gives me an instant hangover the last 3 to 4 days, it's no longer fun to watch the golf ball dive bombing the blue-haired old ladies on the green. I've actually felt guilty.
I'm pretty sure that's fun sober. So, just say, sorry.
You don't see you don't play golf sober, man. That's not how you play golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so boring. You have to do something to make it interesting.
Right?
It's like World Cup soccer. You got to drink to be a fan of that. Football. So boring. If I wanted to see somebody not score, I'd just put a mirror over my bed or something.
Yeah, let's just watch American football that takes 6 hours when it should be an hour. Yeah.
Hey, those are called commercial breaks, and that's why our athletes are rich.
Commercial breaks, yeah. Oh, they ran 5 yards. Stop the game for a minute. Hang on. All right, it's been 20 minutes. We can start again.
Pretty much. That's all American sports.
It's fucking insane, dude.
So
Oh, yeah.
I'm with Mr. Bob there. I played a long time without drinking anything, and I had a 6 handicap at one time, best I ever got. But mine typically stayed around that 10 point right there.
So here's my question for you guys. Going back to what's your carry pistol, what's your favorite pistol, or whatever you think the best pistol is for you, and how much you train with it. How much do you train with your defensive rifle? Like your shit hits the fan. I'm running out in the woods and I'm not going to be in my house because the Russian tanks are going to be there, or the liberal zombies, or the rifle you would grab in that situation. How often do you practice with it? What kind of knowledge do you have with it? And that kind of thing.
So are you talking live fire training?
Yes. How often do you live fire train with it? Yes.
Myself, I would say about once a month. Live fire. I still do a lot of dry fire, transitions, going from my primary to my secondary. Yeah, I look like I'm LARPing in my living room. Because the mass majority of the kit goes on, and I go through dry firing drills, I go through transition drills, I go through but as for live fire, it's about once a month.
Well, actually, trained with mine today, and try to at least do it once a month. And then when the weather gets nicer, man, this last summer and spring, man, we were doing it about every single week. A group of us get together, and I've got a range set up. I'm lucky enough to have a range set up in the backyard. I've bought a bunch of steel and stuff, so I'm doing a lot of transition drills, mag changes, behind cover, stuff like that. Just trying to, and lucky enough to train with a guy that actually trains the state troopers in our state. So he's got a lot of cool different drills that are actual real world kind of scenario stuff that you would actually put into use. So it's at least once a week during there, but during the this later fall into the winter, we've been tapered off, so more like once a month when it gets really cold out. And it is a AR-15 Sport 2, but it's been a good rifle. I can't complain. Hadn't had any issues.
What about you, Hasbro? And nice to meet you, by the way.
Nice meeting you too. I would say, as far as like pistol drills, things like that, primarily, mainly spring, summer, and fall. Though this year was a little bit light because the people that run the league that we shoot in and do the drills and the training had some health issues, so they kind of lightened up the amount. But normally, it's once a month and a lot of tactical training drills, and then at the end of that, we'll do some just kind of fun targets. Rifles, I shoot literally every week. Now, not so much tactical training stuff, though. More precision, long range, PRS kind of stuff. So I don't know if I'd really count that, but
I would count that. Like, I have 2 rifles I would consider are my shit hits the fans rifles, and one's in the back of the Eberly stock, whatever however you pronounce that, and the with some extra bags, and the other is my AR-15 or my AR-10, depending on what I decide to carry. So I've got like 3 rifles in this rotation, but the one that's in the pack is my Bagara HMR, which is, a 1/2-inch shooter with 8 different kinds of ammo. It's a precision rifle, and it's a 6.5 Creedmoor. And while that's a little light for Alaska, I don't want to be a moose hit by it. So,
Mhm.
like there's that too. I absolutely think that PRS is a great, SHTF skill. I mean, especially where Allen lives, where there's nothing but flat cornfields and white cloth field zombie girls. So.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the precision stuff I do is not just bolt guns, right? It's like you say, it's gas guns. And that's even a bigger challenge, right? To get them to shoot really tiny groups. And I've got really 2 different I got several in 5.56 and 6mm arc, 6.5 Creedmoor, or 6.5 Grendel, just other things. But the one that has the White Oak armament barrel and the one that has the Wilson combat barrel, you just will never miss unless you just totally dork it, right? And
There's
that's
some
kind of a gun you can rely on, right? It never malfunctions. They always run, and you're going to hit what you're aiming at. So,
Yeah, they definitely have some amazingly accurate AR-15s, and like a 20-inch AR-15. Like I wouldn't need to carry the 6.5 Creedmoor back here in my Eberly stock if I just carried a 20-inch AR-15.
mhm.
But I'm not doing that. I'm carrying a 16-inch AR-15 for weight there, and then put the extra weight with the suppressor and everything like that on it. And yeah,
Do you have an AR-10?
I do have an AR-10. I have 2.5 AR-10s. I have a 308, and I have a 6.5 Creedmoor 18-inch barrel, and I have a 22-250 26-inch barrel upper.
That's cool.
Yeah, that I put together. Runs great if you have the right bolt carrier group and the right magazine in it. It runs fantastic, but it didn't do what I wanted to do, which was penetrate body armor with M855A1 steel tips. So it won't. Even sending those at about 36-30, which is about as comfortable as I felt putting the pressure up on them, they don't even make a dent in a level 4 plate. And
Pretty hot.
Yeah, it's a start. Yeah, and that's one reason why it's so hot is it is a long barrel. So like I'm getting a little extra speed from what the Barnes manual says. The Barnes manual maxes out at about 35-70, I think, with that powder. And so I have not maxed out the charge yet, and I'm still getting it way over 3,600. But it doesn't matter. Like even the cheapest Chinese made level 4 plate will stop that 22-250 with a steel tip. So,
Right.
Or with 40 grain lead core full metal jackets going 42-50. You'll stop those too.
Right. Usually velocity is what gets through it, right?
Not in ceramic polyethylene style armor. No. If you've got a multiple materials ceramic plate that's like a level 4 kit, speed is inferior to bullet construction. Now, if somebody's wearing level 3 plus steel, yeah, that 22-250 will go through it like a hot knife through butter. So I've got a mildly decent good video on my channel doing that, where I shot 40 grain hand loads, 55 grain hand loads, 62 grain Barnes, 62 grain M855A1s. They were going a little slower. I think they were going in the 3500s. In fact, so that A1 projectile has that steel tip and a copper core, and I think the faster you send it, the more it acts like a Barnes TTSX. It acts like a copper cored ballistic tip, essentially. So it pushes apart when it loses that core, because that core pushed apart. Then the jacket loses, or the steel penetrator loses all the speed from it. You have to have a way to keep the steel penetrator that's up front. That's the tip of the bullet. And it's the same one they had to destroy all the feed ramps in the SIG MCXs. So, yeah. So I've just decided shooting for the hips are best. Don't try to penetrate the body armor.
That's something I've never shot or been shot at with, but that's good information to know.
Yeah, if you're getting shot at with a 22-250 M855A1, you have really come across a redneck with a reloading bench. But I have the same bullets in my 300 Winchester Magnum. My 300 Winchester Magnum is 26 inches plus the muzzle brake that brings the overall length to 28 inches. A lot of people think that muzzle brake subtracts velocity. It doesn't. It adds probably 20 to 25 feet per second. And those M855A1s with Reloader 17, I got like the last half a pound from somebody, a friend of Reloader 17 available in the state of Alaska, right? And that Reloader 17, half a pound, like it sends those, because it's the Barnes data is for a 24-inch barrel, and they're supposed to be hitting 3,600 because they're a 130 grain bullet, and they are hitting 3,782, and there will be a baseball size back deformation on a level 4 plate, but it will still stop it.
You have broken ribs, but it stopped it, right?
You probably have ribs puncture your lungs. However, I did a test. One company sent me some armor to test, and they specifically wanted me to test it with the 22-250 and that 300 Win Mag load. They've been watching my channels, and they wanted to see how it hangs up. They actually make the armor that the IDF wears. Not, I don't care how anybody feels about the IDF, but that's, you know, they wanted to make sure it was good for their soldiers, right? So I did the video. I had a big block of ballistics gel. I put the plate on there, no trauma pad. They sent the trauma pads as well. No trauma pad. The 22-250 made a little indentation around it. Not much. No, did not break the ballistics gel. The 300 Win Mag, you could stick 2 fingers all the way up in there of that ballistic gel. Okay, sorry. There's a lot of innuendo there. Anyway,
There
yeah.
was until you said something.
I know. I'm making
From the front.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, I put the trauma pad on there. Nothing. Like, it didn't break the ballistics gel at all. So those trauma pads really work, in my opinion.
All right. Who else has got to go on that question, and then we're gonna start going through the room.
I think it's just you or Jamie. You and Jamie or Daniel.
Go ahead, Jamie. You go first.
That's one of the things I'm slack on. I'm always shooting my rifle and all different ones and working up loads and stuff like that. But as far as training with my AR, I don't do that as much as I should. So I'll try to work on that a little bit. Go ahead, Scotsman.
As far as myself, I don't get up to shoot it as much as I would like to, but I do a lot of dry fire training. I do a lot of other kinds of different things.
Son, it's bedtime. Get a drink. Go to bed. Please. Good night. Go to bed. What do you have in your hand?
I think he's talking to you, Jamie.
You don't need any of that. Go to bed.
Pat, when you're chewing out the kid, mute the mic.
Oh, sorry, guys.
You're good, buddy.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good.
Well, at least I wasn't cussing at him, I guess.
It made for good comedic entertainment.
Okay, well, sorry about that, y'all, but that's what I was kind of putting in the side chat. I got some kids that will not go to bed. So dad's got to be dad, right?
Yeah, no, you're good, man. You're good.
Sorry.
We'll start going through the room here in a second. So I do a lot of dry fire stuff. I got the PCP. I do a lot of training with that stuff as well. I'm limited as far as actual range for rifle out here on the property I'm on. So unless I can get out to Daniels or something along those lines, I really don't have a whole lot of yardage to shoot. So shooting rifle out here is kind of limited. Closest range for me to do any kind of rifle is about halfway between me and Daniel, but a lot of times they are usually closed as far as the rifle range, and you can shoot on the pistol range, but again, it's a limited amount of yards. It's might as well just shoot it at the house. It's basically the same distance. But I do a lot of different training on top of that as well. So there are things to keep me in shape as far as being able to know my controls, know where things are at, keep up my mag changes and things and so on. So lots of different practices that go into play there to make sure I'm staying on track, even though I don't always get out to do as much live fire as I'd like to do.
I'm waiting to see you drop and roll and shoot your Daisy Red Ryder. Do some tactical.
Well, man, hey,
training
you
with
know
it.
what? If I was sent the tactical pink one, I would be all about it, man. But with my back issue, I don't see me doing any drop and rolls right now.
Probably not a good idea.
I can maybe try and take a knee, but I don't know about any drop and rolls.
Do some epic movie style slow-mo, pulling up a Daisy Red Ryder.
Clear the house. Yeah, go through room to room and clear the house with the Red Ryder.
We could probably do something like that. I can get the GoPro out. We can do a GoPro one, first person.
I like it. I'm all in. Let's all do a compilation. We can put it on your channel. I'll share it out to my subscribers.
We could do something like that. That'd be cool. I'm game for it.
Absolutely.
All right. With that being said, we will start going through the room. I know some folks got to jump out, so we'll start going through the room. Chuck, you go first, man. What you got?
Well, first of all, thanks for letting me come in late and all that jazz, and just having me on still. I appreciate it because there was about a year and a half, 2 years there. I never came and even watched. So I appreciate you a lot just letting me come back in. I've got some videos on some reviews of some Chinese items that was sent to me. I've got a federal terminal scent versus precision hunter coming up in 6.5 Creedmoor. And then, I got a holster review on my holster that made my Glock worse. So you'll like that video. So anyway, no, the holster was so thin that my flashlight could be turned on and off inside the holster. So I put brand new batteries in it, and the next day they were dead. So yeah, there's that. I don't think I got to email the lady. MDT Stocks has sent me some stocks and chassis, and one of them looks like it's going to be great. The other one is like a $1,600. We need to figure out how it's going to work type of thing. So there's that. And all I got to say is it's not going to happen, Jamie, but I do hope my Vols get to beat you guys again in the playoff, or beat you guys for the first time in the playoffs. So that's all I'm going to say, Jamie. All right. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks.
Appreciate you, man. Pat, what you got, man?
Got just dropped a video today of me shooting at some new steel that I got today with some frangible ammo and getting to see how that impacts. Had a lot of fun with that today, out with friends and family today, so it was really, really, really good day. Other than that, more videos to come on some more steel and stuff in the future. And I got some other videos lined up, so thanks for having me on. And yeah, thanks for tolerating me chewing my kid out upstairs. And the hot mic session with Pat in the bunker. So anyway, it was entertaining at the best, I hope. But anyway, thanks again, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. I always appreciate jumping in. Yeah, it was good. It was good comedic humor. Humor. Damn it.
Hey, man, Dad's got to be dad.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. It's all good.
Yeah, that's right.
Hasbro, what you got, man?
Well, I got one challenge wrapped up, so that's good. I'm glad that's off my plate. I got this Red Ryder challenge. It goes through end of January, and so just kind of be doing that. Now it gives me time to go out and shoot some of the other challenges. So with work, I'll have a little bit of time here in about 2 weeks around Christmas time, and I'm gonna get out and spend some time at the range that I haven't been able to do lately for a lot of different reasons. And then indoors, when the weather's bad, I'll be plinking away with some BBs and having some fun. Got another scope review coming up. I got a company that's contacted me, likes what I've did so far. So working on that one. Other than that, just working.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to the Red Rider, and hopefully I don't shoot my eye out.
You got the glasses on all the time, man. You're good.
Got to, man. Got to. Everything's so dang bright. After I got eye surgery, everything just went super, super bright. So it's the whole point of getting surgery was so I don't have to wear contact lenses or glasses, and now all I do is wear freaking glasses.
I'm thinking I'm gonna take my night vision setup and put it onto the Red Rider and go through and clear the house. I'll do something around Christmas time with that one.
That would be epic.
It'll probably break the Red Rider because it's so heavy.
No, that'd be awesome. Though that'd be pretty fun to see. Daniel, what you got?
Oh, I just got a bunch of laundry that's in the dryer that I washed in my scent free because it's my hunting stuff, and I'm gonna go put it away and wait for a couple weeks for another gun weekend. But I just been out shooting. The competition season is over for this year. I started out shooting IDPA, PCSL, and USPSA. Just look it up on Practice Score. But to get out there and have actually really good practical shooting, whether you shoot your pistol or your AR, because in PCSL you can shoot your pistol and your AR or pistol caliber carbine every weekend at these matches together. So there's a lot of good practical shooting. You can practice shooting your pistol, shooting your long gun, and you're going to be meeting people, and it's a really good time. And get into it. I mean, it is really fun. And an old fart like me, I'm 60 years old, limping and gimping. But I get my bragging rights when it comes on the classifier, because it's just like the old West. You're standing there and you're going to draw that gun out and shoot 4 targets as fast as you can. And whoever's standing at the end wins. But hey, thanks for having me on. I'm going to shut up now.
Always good having you, man. Appreciate you. Jamie, what you got, brother?
Thanks for having me, man. I want to do some of those challenges. I got one of those Savage Mark IIs, and I'm going to be finding me a scope to put on that, and I got to fix that sight. But Chuck, my brother.
That's trolling right there.
See, Georgia is right there. Tennessee is up here. So basically, for you to play Georgia in the playoffs, you've got to beat Ohio State first. Then you got to beat Oregon. And then you got to beat whoever comes out of the other half of that bracket, which is either Arizona State, Texas, or Clemson. And the only way you can play Georgia in the college football playoff if it's the final game for the national championship. And brother, I love you, and nothing would tickle me more.
Yeah, that would tickle me too. I would fly down there. I would find the money somehow to fly down there and watch the game with you, brother.
And it'll be in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's true.
It'll be in Atlanta. And I think that would be a great final game because everybody else would hate that. You realize that, don't you? 2 SEC teams in the final. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It'd be almost like the repeat year the rematch year between Alabama and Georgia and Alabama and LSU. Those rematch years they had.
Well, there's people already picking Texas and Georgia in the last. But anyway, enough of that. We can talk college football half the night. Take it away, Scotsman.
All right. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate everyone out in the side chat. I'm going to try and hopefully get some videos out this week. See how the weather is. This past week, the weather was absolute shit. And there was no way in hell I was going outside. So hopefully this week the weather will be a little bit better, but somehow I doubt it. I do have a couple things I got to review. So still trying to get that done, but hopefully we can get that done, get outside, do a little bit of shooting. Feeling a little bit better this week, so hopefully I can maybe do some casting, maybe do some loading as well. That would be good. So we'll go from there, but appreciate everyone out there. And Alan, take us out right, brother.
Oh man, thank you everybody out in the side chat. Greatly appreciate you. Greatly do. Had some conversation here in the room. Appreciate everybody being on tonight. I don't plan on putting out any videos, but I do have a couple of pieces of I think that if I could speak, a couple of pieces of advice. Just because you've got a Glock does not mean that there's better tools out there that can replace it. I'm just saying there's better tools, man. There's better tools. That and keep them magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Woo!